can you tell us your name and your being the leader here? Can you tell us a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'm Attorney Anthony Santos, National President of the Civilian Marcos Loyalists here in the Philippines.
Yes, sir. Can you tell us all about this BATAC to Manila March?
Yes, this Freedom Sacrifice March, as we call it, I believe is the first in the whole world where a group of people will walk straight 500 kilometers. When I say straight, they're not going to ride in any vehicle, but just walk 500 kilometers from this point in Batac, Ilocos Norte, which is the hometown of our President of the Philippines, Ferdinand E. Marcos, all the way to Manila. And we have organized this sacrifice march precisely because we would like to make a loud protest against this present regime, which we not only do not recognize, but is as well an illegal government. And this sacrifice march also is intended to manifest the loyalty of Filipinos, especially in the Ilocos region, to our legal President Ferdinand Marcos. But over and above all things, the Freedom Sacrifice March is a dramatization of our struggle for the return of the rule of law in this country, which is not enjoying any semblance of the law at the moment, being a revolutionary government, and all things coming from the dictate of one woman assumed leader, so that the struggle for the return of the rule of law as well as for the democratic processes in this country. We had been on the road since May 16, and today it would be 2 weeks under the heat of the sun or the blizzard of the strong rains. Most of the time, though, we're being battered with the rains. It's been raining in Ilocos for the past weeks, and as you can see now, we're on the final lap, sort of our uh, walk to Manila. We have covered, as of today, about 400 kilometers walk since we started in Lawag, Ilocos Norte last May 16. We have a few casualties. When I say casualties, in the form of hospitalizations, people just falling ill because of the rain and the heat and exhaustion and all that. And I say casualties also in the form of injuries. We had trouble yesterday in the province of Tarlac, and this is what they call the Cory Aquino country. They said could not be penetrated. But fortunately, the Freedom March, as you can see right now, we are in San Manuel, Tarlac. And we were able to go through Tarlac yesterday, but unfortunately, people there, hired goons, I say, started to harm the freedom marchers. As a result, we had more than 50 injuries suffered by our civilian marchers, both men and women.
Yes, sir. Can you tell us where these casualties are now?
Some of the casualties are now out of the hospitals, and some are still in the hospital. The thing is, they were injured by stone throwing, and most of them got hit in the head. So I say this is really a very unfortunate incident because for the past 2 weeks there was never any single incident anywhere except in the so-called hometown of the present government leader Cory Aquino. So this is a big black eye to his province and to this administration, and a great victory for the freedom marchers as well.
Yes, sir. Now, what are your plans as soon as you get to Manila?
Well, there's a big gathering of loyalists all over Metro Manila and suburbs awaiting the arrival of the Freedom Marchers, hopefully this Sunday, June 1st. And we are going to stage a big gathering of loyalists on this day.
So from here, sir, uh, when do you start marching again?
We will start marching from where we left off yesterday. We left off yesterday in the last portion of Tarlac because we just wanted to make a tactical regrouping. When the stone throwing incident and the clashes started, somehow the marchers got dispersed, especially the women. So we had to make a tactical regrouping, and here we are now, and just about ready to continue with the march.
Are all these marchers here resting all from the home province of the Marcos?
Uh, I would say the great majority, about 80% of these marchers, are from the hometown of President Marcos in Ilocos region. And we had to maintain a skeletal force because we cannot march by the thousands. It will be hard to feed them. It will be hard to control several hundreds of thousands of people marching in the road, and we will be obstructing traffic in the highways. So we formed a skeletal team of over 1,000 volunteer marchers, and the real big group will come in the town of Valenzuela, which is the last few kilometers as we enter Manila.
So, can you also tell us how do you get your fans to support this Freedom March?
That's a good question. In fact, I'm still wondering how it happened up to now that we were able to stand it. Actually, the funds we're getting are donations from people, especially the poor people along the highways. We 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 had the cans along the way, and people just drop in their coins, or they give us rice. They gave us vegetables and fruits and other foodstuffs. And really, up to this point, for 2 weeks now, I can't believe it that we have been able to sustain ourselves with enough food to sustain us up to the very last leg of this Freedom March.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and good luck to
Thank
all
you.
of you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ooh, that's it. Tell us why you are here.
Uh,
Why did you join the Freedom March? Are you are you here to for the cause that Marcos should be back in office again?
can I talk Tagalog?
Okay, go ahead.
Ah, narito ho kami para makiramay sa mga nagpe-Freedom March. Narinig namin sa radyo na kailangan nila ang saklulo kung ano may tutulong namin. Kaya ho kami naririto. At unang-una, kagaya nga na sinasabi na kaming lahat ang amin ang hinihiling namin ang kalayaan at ang paglaban namin ang Republika ng Pilipinas.
Maraming salamat.
Basta Marcos ako. Marcos pa rin.
Freedom of the Philippines, Marcos pa rin. We are for the Philippines and Marcos pa rin. We are for Marcos.
You love Marcos?
Yeah, very much.
Why?
I think Marcos is the only man can build and rebuild the nation. That's why we love Marcos very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are here and your name and
My name is Philip M. De Lucerno. I have joined this Freedom March because I do believe that the democracy is now deteriorating in our country because of the present administration that has already administered this kind of government to us. We do believe that I and so many others do believe that democracy must be preserved, and by joining in this unity for Freedom March, we shall be able to deliver the substance of democracy to the Filipino people all over our country. I do want to call for others to join this Freedom March so that in our unity we shall have this preservation for democracy. We shall bring back the Constitution of the Philippines, and if no other person could implement the democracy, it's none other but President Marcos, who has been in rule for 20 years and he has maintained our welfare here in our country. That's all. Thank you.
thank you.
No, I'm from Manila. I'm from Manila, and I have joined the march only so that they and I should bring forth the fires of enlightenment through them. Because in as it is, President Marcos is an Ilocano, and we would like the Ilocania to be awakened that they should preserve the only person that could implement the real democracy, which is none other but President Marcos.
Were you at the stone throwing incident yesterday at Tarlac? Can you tell us all about it?
Well, one of the groups who had been assigned to be on the first contingent, which is confronting our marchers. When we arrived at the Tarlac city proper, there was those group that is the so-called yellow people, who are the chorus supporters, who was advancing and was trying to drive us out before we entered the Tarlac city proper. They were trying to tell us to go home and stay put, but we were asking them in peaceful means that we are only passing by to go to Manila to deliver the substance of democracy to the Filipino people who were waiting in Manila. But then suddenly they came rushing on towards us, and they pelted stones, and we saw that there were daggers and some kind of deadly weapons in them. Only the military prevented this from being very violent, because they had warning shots, and good enough, and with God's blessing we were able to minimize the injuries which was inflicted on our marchers, but unfortunately some of us were really hurt because of the stone throwings and the stampedes, because as people have witnessed it, we were not fighting. We were only avoiding the violence. The The most unfortunate one was one old man who was hit on the left side of his eye, which is very much infected as of now because it really hit him most seriously, you know. That's all.
Do you think you'd be able to go to Manila without meeting another similar incident in Tarlac?
Well, if really we shall deliver democracy in such a way, we shall do so because if if in if in this struggle the element of sacrifice is a necessity, we won't hesitate to do so.
Thank you very much.